Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jason Tucker, and this is WPwatercooler's WP Blab. It is Thursday. It is 7:36. It's 6 minutes past the 7:30 hour. That sounds weird.
Princess Wave. Oh, sorry, Princess Wave.
Princess Wave?
Yeah.
So tonight's topic, we're going to be discussing your first WordCamp talk. What to know to share your passion of WordPress. So we're going to be talking about if you are getting involved with a WordCamp, how do you start? And if you've gone to a WordCamp and you've watched all these great people go up there and talk, and you're like, man, how do I make the millions of dollars that all those other people are making going up there and talking? You're in the wrong racket, because they don't make a dime most of the time. So make sure you go and find the people that do this type of stuff and talk to them and get it all figured out. But before we go into the topic at hand here, I want to introduce my friend Bridget. Bridget,
Hi.
Tell folks all about you, yourself, and what you do.
My name is Bridget Willard. I blog sometimes at bridgetwillard.com, but mostly at wordpress.com and givewp.com.
Nice.
I don't know. It's not that exciting.
It's not that exciting.
I mean, it's exciting. It's just,
Bridget,
I'm not blogging that much right now. I read a post by Andrea, somebody from WordCamp Europe, and she's like 10 minutes a day. And I was reading, I was like, I don't know, maybe I could do this. Like having like all of my intellectual property is on wordpress.com and GiveWP. Like I don't even talk about Twitter on my blog anymore. I haven't blogged in like 6 weeks. And I was thinking, it's true what, that saying, a cobbler's children have no shoes. Now that I write for a living, there's like nothing left for BridgetWillard.com. Like I need people to ask me social media questions, and then I will answer on Bridget Willard. Like at first I was like, yeah, I blog at BridgetWillard.com. Like, not in 6 weeks you haven't. Why are you even saying that? So I messed up my introduction. That's the DVD extras. And because we love you guys on WP Blab.
Awesome. You cracked me up.
Well, I mean,
at some point here we will totally talk about social media and how sucky developers are out there at doing social media, and they think they're doing it and they're not doing it right. And we'll go through all of that, and we'll totally talk about that. And this will happen.
That's a good talk for me.
It is, because you complain the most.
I do complain the most. And here's the name of the talk. Because we're supposed to be applying for, so some of us at work are applying for US. So I can write my first pitches, and who knows what those guys are going to say. But I forgot about this. Is what I really want to talk about is the plugin is for the media and the social is relationships. So the plugin is only going to handle half of it. The rest of it has to be a person, Oh, I should have done that.
It's all right. We'll
next year.
Come back to it. We'll come back to it. We'll talk about it here, and then you'll get all of the stuff you need, and then we'll totally jump in on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason why I'm even sitting here. Well, in my apartment.
That's the only reason?
It's the biggest reason. Twitter. Like I said on Blab before, which will be part of one of my talks, I met the community before I met the software.
Yep.
On social media.
You have said that.
Drops mic. Thanks for coming. It was a great show.
So a little bit about me. How about that? And then we'll get on with it. So I'm Jason Tucker. You can find me over at jasontucker.us, and I tweet Jason Tucker, as well as a couple other different things. Mainly I do a show called WPwatercooler, which is part of the network in which this show is on. And we do a bunch of stuff on Mondays, so go take a look at that over at WPwatercooler on the Twitter. I work at a church. I'm my IT director over there, and I take care of all the stuff that connects to the internet, talks to the internet, prints, shows things up on screens, does all those fun things. So That is what I do during my day job. So let's talk a little bit about a WordCamp, shall we?
Yep.
So when I went to my first WordCamp, the thing I said is I don't ever want to be the person that's up in the front talking. Like I
talks later.
Right? So like I don't want to do that. That's stupid. Like it's great that these people are doing this, and I never thought, oh man, those people have to be making some money at this, because most of all the people don't make money at WordCamps. Now at WordCamp like events that are not branded by WordCamp, they totally do. You can definitely get a paying gig speaking. And there are those types of speaking, things that you can do.
Well,
but at a WordCamp, not so much.
But we did hear last week from John Brown. Some people do recruiting that way.
Oh heck yeah! No, there's plenty of ways to make some money at a WordCamp.
I know that.
Oh yeah, you were probably standing there and you had all your WordPress guys sitting there going like, yeah, we're not hiring right now, but we'll totally, take your name and your number, and we'll, if you're robust enough, we'll totally bring you in here.
Oh, I should watch who they talk to now. Hey, don't you talk to my guys. Those are my guys.
Yeah, so they make money off of the fact that they have spoken, or maybe they get hired, or maybe, those sorts of things. So this is not a money-making proposition, and they also don't want you to go up there and, pitch your product and pitch your thing and talk about your stuff and trying to make you extra money or whatever. It's not what you're there for. You're there to share the wealth of knowledge and to show how passionate you are about WordPress and tell people about it.
Passionate. Nice segue. Because the worst thing is to be an adult in a Charlie Brown movie. Wah, 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 wah. And Peppermint Patty's like, that's the worst. Inflection, it's yours. Use it. Love, Bridget. That's my only criticism. Make eye contact. There's human beings in the room, and use your inflection. You know how they say, use your words. I would just say, use your inflection. Like, you don't have to make up a big to-do, but I'm just saying, practice talking.
My internets are going crazy. I'm so sorry.
I thought maybe I was boring you.
No, I'm having some major issues over on my end over here. Yeah.
Is your time machine running a backup? Usually you turn on.
No, I have everything off. I have everything unplugged and off.
But you always do.
The bandwidth sucking daughter. She's at water polo right now, and
bandwidth sucking daughter.
Well, she watches Netflix on her iPad. I get it. Probably watches 2 Netflixes at the same time.
We do have a question from Kevin before it gets all.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know how to pin it anymore. They changed it's even a /Q before it gets all like you can't find it from the scrollies. Blabs always changing their thing.
So you mind reading it?
Yeah. Kevin Hoffman from the chat asks, is there a standard format for talk submissions? Bullet points, outlines, summary paragraph?
I guess it depends. It depends. I guess it depends. So I myself, I've only spoken at the WordCamps that I attend meetups that are in the area. I did speak at WordCamp Phoenix, which is a WordCamp I don't normally, attend any of their stuff. Obviously, I live in California, but so when I submitted my talk, it was mainly just the topic. It's like, here's what I want to talk about. Here's its name. And I wrote a little description about it, and that was it. That was in Phoenix. The ones here in California, both in LA as well as Orange County, I guess, and San Diego, I've spoken at all 3, if I remember right. That's just been topic ideas. Like, here's my topic, go for it. And another one was like, So here's the topic you're going to have. Now come up with, or here's the thing I want you to come up with. Now give me a topic. Like, you know, here's kind of the rough idea we want you to talk about, and then give us a topic. So it depends, right? It really just depends on how the organizers are set up.
Mm-hmm.
Have the organizers done their due diligence and looked at your, you know, the other talks that you've done? Are you one of those people that has recorded, you know, done one talk and now you're trying to like do the circuit and like, you know, do the talk over and over again? And if you are, then they're probably gonna look at it and go, eh.
So, yeah, that was a good post that Devin wrote. Wink. So, anyway, so here's the thing. Devin did contribute to that article, and I just made the author. So, DVD extras, you guys get on the blab. So, San Diego this year, they wanted specific talks in specific tracks, right? So they said, what do you want to talk about within this? And they listed what they wanted. This, you know, so, and then LA last year, I don't remember their form because I didn't apply to speak, but I did check out the form for WordCamp US. And it says like the name of the talk, the URL for the slides if you have one, a short description. Is it lightning or general? Is it what is the general topic? Like, who's the audience? Advanced, beginner, or general? What is the general topic? Like all three of mine are about community and, you know, human interest stuff. And then it says additional information. And then it says, are you wanting to sponsor? And there's a checkbox. And then it says, is this your best of your submissions? Because like we're all submitting 3.
Right.
So, I mean, they're all, every single one is different, but it's a pitch, right? So you have to talk. For me, and this is kind of what we did, is we had a brainstorming meeting at work. What would be the best talks for us? And so somebody would say, oh yeah, I don't know what I could talk on. Be like, yeah, but you rock Google Analytics. Why don't you talk about that? Or you're so good at support. And then we talked about like, how could you level that general idea up? Or how could you narrow it down? Like, if you try to talk about social media, there's too much to talk about. You could just talk about Yoast and be out of time, right? Or you could just talk about integrating email marketing into your WordPress site and be out of time. So the more specific you are, the more in depth you can go. And I feel like that's more valuable. Being super general sometimes is good for an overview. Like that's kind of a good thing to have an overview. But also, so that's what we were trying for, is like to be more specific in our talks, you know. Actually, Matt Cromwell is working on customizing the O-embed of other WordPress sites in the theme, because apparently the O-embed 4.4 and higher supports O-embed.
Why are you giving it? You're giving away my talk. You're giving away the whole talk.
No, just WordPress. I'm just talking, not YouTube, Snapchat, or whatever. I mean, SoundCloud.
That's part of my talk.
I'm just saying, like, but the theme people usually ignore. I'm sorry, I didn't see his slides, so I don't want to give anything away. But I was saying, the only people I hear talking about O-embed is you and Matt Cromwell. So that could be potential. So you can look for what are people not talking about that you think they should talk about. For me, it'd be like, Twitter, oh my God, talk about this, please.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I did. Is I looked to see, is someone else talking about, you know, this topic, and have they talked about it? And if they have, then I want to, you know, kind of I don't want to get into that topic. I want to make sure that I'm only picking the topics that relate to I guess the things that are happening right now, but also things that are like, how do I put it? It's like I want to make sure I'm unique enough, but I'm not so unique that people are looking at it going like, what the heck are you talking about?
Not obscure.
Yeah. Because I've seen some pretty obscure topics that have come up, and I just look at it and go, wow, that's that's pretty interesting. I don't know why we're talking, why you're discussing this, and why did more than three people show up in this room? Whoa, this is really weird. Like this topic is so out of left field. What's up, Dave?
Hey guys, how's it going?
We're so excited about WordCamp Orange County this weekend.
Me too.
Woo! It's my home camp. I'm wearing my San Diego shirt.
All right. It was a good camp.
How's it going, dude? Are you surviving? Are you okay? Is there anything we can get you? You need back rubs or any of that sort of stuff?
Definitely back rubs. I will always
okay, good.
Rubs. Yeah.
We'll make sure that happens. So
that's great. No, we're ready.
So
we're there's no stopping it now. No, it's going good.
So you've seen the people that have submitted to WordCamps. Like, what kind of stuff have you seen that's like how do you describe it? Like, oh, this is a good talk. This is a very good topic that these people want to do.
It is the hardest part, I think, of the entire process.
Picking speakers.
Picking speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We came up with a really awesome process for that. If you want to get some needs,
we do.
So we basically threw it. So I basically put them in an Excel document, threw them in a mail merge and on 3x5 cards, like printed, and then each speaker topic had a 3x5 card, and then we would basically go through and say, okay, is this about development? Is this about design? Is this about tech? Social, whatever. And so then we would have the topics out, and then we'd actually throw them all up on the wall with just tape. And then we would actually take markers and go through, and just everybody would have their own color marker, and you would kind of put a little check box of like, ooh, this is interesting. Ooh, I like that.
That's
and
visual.
It's totally a card sorting exercise. And so,
I thought you were going to do darts.
Right? And so at the end of it, you basically come down with, the popular votes, as well as, it's really interesting to kind of see like who comes up, even when it's not like, oh, I don't really want to hear him talk. He's been through this whole circuit, like you were saying, Jason.
Yep.
Some people like that. Some people don't.
Well, and some people don't want to hear it over and over and over again. They don't want to go to a WordCamp that's like, less than like 2 hours away and hear the same exact talk and go like, oh my gosh, dude, like you've already talked about this thing. Why are we discussing it yet again?
You definitely get better as you practice it.
I don't know.
But I would also say, if you are actually trying to speak at a WordCamp, specifically WordCamp, make sure that your topic is about WordPress. Some people come in and they have these awesome topics, but they're not at all related to WordPress, and it's kind of the whole point of the conference. So, just saying.
Yeah,
no, you're absolutely right. You get some interesting submissions that can be way off topic. I
have seen a few where those people will show up and they're like, oh, so here's my product, and then they talk about their product the whole time. They're like, see this thing?
No pitching.
We make selfie sticks. It's the best thing ever. If you ever want a website, you should definitely get a selfie stick. You know why? Because it's going to up your selfie game to all your posts that are going to go on your website. And you're just like, oh my gosh, dude.
Or something cool at the end of your talk, that's one thing, but don't sit there and pitch for 60 minutes. It's not going to work.
No, that sucks.
I'm seeing some of the chat, and actually that's kind of what we do for OC is we do a little bit of blind voting beforehand. But the real balance for us is we try to have like a balanced selection of talks so that we're covering like developers, designers, beginners, and that actually tends to be a really hard niche to fill.
Really?
And
Yeah.
yeah,
beginning
believe
top
me,
speakers.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because you don't want to do. You were just talking about not wanting to see the same talk over and over again. Coming
Right.
up with original ways to have new talks for beginners that I guess aren't just excluding everybody else. And yep, you're absolutely right, Jeff. A beginner can be a bunch of different things. And then we also try to cover like bloggers, and I've made a concerted effort this year to kind of include stuff for people who are blogging and doing it as a business.
Yes, thank you. WordCamp County always has the blogging track.
We try.
That's how we got into this, by writing on WordPress.
But
Imagine that.
I hear it's a really good blogging platform.
No, but
Something about blogging.
let me just tell you this, Dave. Matt and I went to the Nonprofit Technology Conference in San Jose this March, and then WordPress Day, and Kyle Mara gave a great talk from the WP Roundtable about how great WordPress is for enterprise and da-da-da-da. And somebody raised their hand. They said, "Can you use WordPress for personal sites too?" I think we've gotten that far away from promoting it as a
Full
accessible,
circle.
yeah. So just for a little bit of information there.
Yeah.
It kind of blew me away. It was like, I thought I was the new person.
But I saw Manny's post, and I don't want you to think like you didn't get, or that you got rejected. It's just that you didn't get chosen. It's never a rejection. It's so hard to slot everybody correctly, to balance against what we've already got talks approved for.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear.
What kind of percentage of submissions are you getting?
It depends on how long your speaker submission form is open for, because that definitely makes a difference. But you also have to think about, like, okay, how long is your conference? Because when I was doing 2014, like, I was like, okay, all the pitches get in. And so we actually did, 54 actual sessions through the entire weekend. This upcoming WordCamp Phoenix is actually going to only be 36. And I was like, half? Oh my goodness. But at the same time, you have to really separate the wheat from the chaff, if you will, and really, kind of dig in and say, okay, what's the really good, juicy stuff? And it really comes down to, what's trending, what's interesting, what's going to be, received well from, larger audience or from a particular niche audience, all kinds of things.
Do you also consider demographics, local, gender?
Yeah, you have to more these days, I hear, but it depends on kind of how you want to run your conference, but really, your WordPress event, but really it comes down to, you definitely want to give some good, clout to the local community, because that's the local community. That's why you're all there. And, honestly, that's going to be majority of the people that show up to most WordCamps.
Do you mean like paying attention to who's applying and making sure that local people are approved? Is that what you're referring?
Yeah, I was saying, like, local.
As well as gender.
As well as gender. Interesting.
Let me premise this, okay? Because I would say that I'm a reasonable feminist.
You can't go into an industry
I'm
where
not going to comment on that.
Okay. No, I mean, it's fine, right?
50% women.
Whatever. So I have a suspicion that women don't apply as much to speak. I think they self-deselect. I'm wondering, are you getting a lot of female speakers? Because I think as a woman, it's hard for me to justify even traveling. Well, if I travel to Vegas, then I have to get a dog sitter, and then it's going to cost this, and then I got to rent a car. Now we're talking $500, and just to talk, man, my talk
You
isn't
haven't put
worth
the
that
gambling
much.
money in there yet.
Whereas I think a man would go, I need this for my career. It's totally worth spending this money on. This is my personal hypothesis. You heard it here first, folks.
I definitely think you're right, Bridget. I think that a lot of women tend to self-select and be like, well, I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about, or I tend to think we kind of get down on ourselves, and you really can't. Like, to be honest, like, apply, because you're gonna get in because you're a woman. Like people used to be like, well, how do you feel bad, submitting all those scholarship opportunities for women? I'm like, no, I'm a woman in tech. They're giving me money. I'm going to go take advantage of it, because that's okay. I have female parts. You can give me money. Yes,
You can
please.
give me money.
It's like, yeah, use it if you got it. But
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I was just wondering if you had a problem with women applying to speak. That's all I was asking.
No, I totally think you're right. I think that there's definitely, oh, come on, it's fun and sexy. But I totally think you're right. I think that there's a lot of self-selection in it. But I think that organizers are definitely getting, open to that and being more aware of it, because there's a lot of women in tech kind of pushing right now as far as like girl code and stuff like that. So they're kind of being like more aware of what the percentages are and things like that. But at the same time, if you select like that, then it's like, well, you're just getting in because you're good at it, or because you're a woman, or because you're whatever.
I was going to say, I don't know if it's just our region, but we are really fortunate to have a bunch of great female speakers. I mean, like, I've got folks opening up the show and closing it down, and in the business track, and I mean, all over the place. So
no, I mean, we're lucky.
Honestly, we don't, like, I'm kind of curious. I want to jump on the site right now to count, but I don't know what the ratio is, but I can name several women off the top of my head who are talking, and I'm excited to see them speak.
It's a problem, Dave, because my girlfriend Carol comes to the Bay Area, and so we were trying to plan which one we're going to, and I go, oh, like half of these people are my friends now. I can't decide. I'm going to let her decide.
I don't know if I have any against one another.
Oh, I do.
That would
I
be
have
another.
Jason Tucker and Jen Miller at the same time.
I'm going to just say that Jason Tucker,
my two best
not
friends.
a woman. I'm just going.
I think that's the hardest part, is that, once you have the speakers to lay it out and be like, okay, this one, we can't put, Chris Lemma up against all these poor noobs because nobody's going to be there. It's so hard to like really make a schedule that's going to be equal and fair to everybody.
I was actually, that kind of brings me back to a point, is we talked about like all of the, scheduling as far as the different types of talks for different audiences. But another factor that really came into play for us this year was venue.
Yeah.
Venue can influence
the ability to put number of butts and seats, and can this room hold 100 people? Can this room hold 200 people?
That's one way to put it.
So,
Dave, I was excited that you guys were asking for 16:9 format slides.
Yeah.
Because some of these camps are 4x3, and you're just like, dude, really? Like, that is not enough real estate here.
Have you
might
been?
As well be making.
Have you been?
Yeah, yes.
We had SMMOC there once, right?
Okay. So you've seen the big room.
It's gorgeous. It has really clean and nice bathrooms too. So mad props. These are the things that matter.
Points for the bathroom. All right.
Seriously. Just saying. Yeah. I mean, the last two places have been nice too. They're not always.
16:9 screens everywhere.
It sounds lame, but it's totally true. It's like some of these places have really horrible setups, and it's like you get what you get. Like, this is all we have. We're not going to install new monitors because a bunch of like web developers show up and web designers, and they want to show off some slides. It's not going to happen.
At least you didn't need a VGA. adapter.
Adapter.
I did when I did it at a hotel once. Not at a WordCamp, but just a normal presentation. It's like, this is janky. It looks like 8th grade AV club.
So what are some of the things that people should know about when they're going to speak at a WordCamp? Like, what are the things that you walk in, you know, I've written some blog posts about this over at WP Media Pro, where I've talked about like how to use a microphone. What kind of microphones are there? Is it a headset mic? Is it a lapel mic? Is it a lav mic? Is it a this mic? Is it, you know, what?
Good question,
Is it a mic?
Tucker.
Is it a mic like this where you're talking like this? Or are you like this where you talk like this? Like, you know, you have those types of things that you need to worry about. And somebody just hands you random microphone from the, you know, from the podium, and you have to figure out how to use it. And, you know, everybody's looking at you like you've never held a microphone before. And it's like, well, there's actually a couple different kinds of microphones. So, like, what are some of the things that people should know about outside of microphones? They can go over my website or whatever and look at that. But, like, what other things can they do to know?
That's a real
like,
thing. I'm serious.
It's
Jen,
a real,
okay,
it's
wait.
a real thing.
Just let me say this, because Jen and I talked, and she goes, well, what should I wear? I was going to wear this beaded necklace and stuff. I go, is it a lapel mic?
Mm-hmm.
She goes, I don't know. Let me ask Jamal. I go, if it's a lapel mic, don't wear a necklace. In fact, don't even wear your badge. In fact, Carrie Lee says you shouldn't wear your badge when you're speaking.
you should never wear your badge.
And, and so, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these things actually matter. That, remember John Brown with the puka shell beard?
Yeah, with the whole beard.
Yeah,
It's reality.
John Brown should
He
have
just
just
needs to
shaved
trim
before
that
he came
beard.
on the show.
He's
I don't know what his
beard,
deal
because
was,
that
but he
thing's
should have shaved.
I think besides the whole mic thing, I think have your slides on more than one device. Don't just put them on your laptop and expect them to like just totally rock. Like you need to make sure that you have them on a USB drive and that you have them on Dropbox and that you have them in your back friend's pocket. Like just have your slides where you need them. And then I would say bring business cards because people always have questions afterwards and you're missing out on a serious business opportunity.
Oh, do people really ask for business cards?
Totally
They
ask
do.
for business cards. They totally
Really?
do. Yeah, I get lots of business after I speak at WordCamps because
Wow.
I hand out business cards after the you know the presentation.
Part
They
of the
had
perk
a
of speaking
question.
at a WordCamp is being an expert in your field, right?
Wow.
Then I think the third thing that I would say is, man, I had one more. I'll think of it. It was right on the top of my head. But
What about like the slides and readability with the slides and contrast and like
don't put a lot of shit.
what's the minimum font size you should be using
Ooh,
for the
wow.
audience members who are over 40 years old and would
12
like to
point.
read your slides?
You do 12 point and
12
you get more
point.
stuff on the page. I mean, come on.
I don't know what the actual answer to that is. I'm guessing Jamal probably has a talk somewhere that breaks that
Are
down.
we talking pixels, picas? What are we talking here?
Right.
I don't know.
M's.
Whatever.
M's,
point it.
Rams.
Oh,
I would say if
ask a
you're
web
speaking,
developer.
if you're going to speak at a camp for the first time, go to the room that you're speaking in and watch the person who's speaking before you,
Mhm.
or watch a couple of people speaking before you. See
And
what
then
the room
fix
is
your
like.
slides.
See what the acoustics are like. No, I'm back on on the
Down.
dealing with the microphone, dealing with the sound, dealing with the room. As far as preparing your presentation, I know that Lemma's got some stuff on his site that will talk about how to put slides together. There's a book that I always recommend, and I'm looking over to see what it's called. It's called Presentation Zen.
Mhm.
If you've never given a presentation, I highly recommend that book. It talks about how to give a presentation, and I think it's one of the guys who originally prepped Steve Jobs, when he started giving presentations, and it talks about how little to have on a slide. I still see some people making that mistake, but I think it's definitely improving, especially in our community at least. As far as the font size, you're going to have to use your head a little bit. But if you have minimal text on that slide, then you shouldn't have too much of a problem.
I'm just asking the hard questions.
Yeah,
Use photos.
48 points.
Yeah, use
48
photos.
sounds
Be
reasonable.
emotional when you're putting together your slides. You know, really put some images in there that people are going to resonate with. You know, on either humorous or sad or whatever. But silly puppies if you want. But make it make it unique, make it fun and original, because otherwise people are going to be like, what? Do I have to listen to this for 30 more minutes? Like, this is not very fun. So, oh, and then don't pack in just a bunch of stuff into your presentation. Like, especially if you're speaking for the very first time, you're going to want to be like, oh, I know all about this. Put a little ebook together, give it away for free at the end of your slide deck or whatever. But just hone it down. Keep it tight.
One topic and stick to it. Yeah. It's tough.
I agree. It is tough. And you want to try to, you look at it like, I have 30 to talk. I have 45 minutes to talk. I have an hour to talk. I have 20 minutes to talk. And you're just like, you blow through all 20 of your slides and then you're like, oh, so Q&A?
Well, that's just it. It's that balance between not providing enough and providing too much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, finding your sweet spot to make sure that you've given some
value.
value to
10 minutes for Q&A, because people have questions. And if they don't, make up questions. Be like, well, some people have questions about this. Here are some things that people have questions about.
That's a great idea.
You build your own FAQ. You're like, I typically am asked this question. No one asks you that question, obviously.
I would argue that if you knew the questions ahead, that should be covered in your presentation.
Well, you also will have volunteers on hand. So if you have your FAQ ahead of time, you can always prompt your volunteers to feed you the questions.
Like hidden audience member.
Not that I'm suggesting that would happen.
I'll be your
you can practice with a timer too.
Practice with a timer. Totally practice before you go up there.
Hitting your time is a tricky thing as well. Yeah, absolutely.
You could practice on video, and then you can see how you look.
At the beginning of the show, you guys were talking about like, what are we looking for as far as content? And you brought up some good ideas. We are looking for like, at least our camp. And again, your concept of it depends is totally valid. Some people have their tracks. Like, I need this track, I need this track, I need this track, and I want people to fill these slots for me. But for ours, at least, and for for several others, it's we're looking for new stuff that we haven't seen before, stuff that we have seen before from a new angle, and then we're also like filling, like I said, those different buckets of designer, developer, business, and blogger and beginner. So we actually have 5.
Wow.
Sometimes business and blogging kind of coincide.
Yeah.
I think orgs kind of screw up sometimes when they don't put at least some feelers out there, especially if they've already got kind of tracks laid out in their mind. Like, put it out there for your speakers, because you want the presentations to come in that you want.
Yeah.
So, give them some feedback. I think one of the most amazing freaking things that I ever had the opportunity to do while putting together WordCamp Phoenix, because we have Friday, which is all the beginner, like basically the 101, 201, 301, 401 sessions to really get people interested in particular segments. And we kind of set it up to where it's really education time. Like, we knew exactly what topics we wanted people to cover. And so what I did, so sneaky, they've figured it out the second year. It's like, darn. But so basically we put this speaker form together, and then we gave, and so, here you are as a speaker, and you're like filling it out. You're like, oh yeah, I'm super excited and I'm super smart. I know what I'm talking about. I'm super smart. And then we gave them a bunch of check boxes of, would you be willing to speak about check. So it's design, CSS, JavaScript, And so we had 1.5 million people suggest themselves for these topics. We were having such a hard time the year before getting volunteers to come in after the fact to do these Friday talks. I was like, no. Let's put it as part of the Saturday thing, because everybody's like, oh, I don't want to speak on Friday. Please, no, it's great to speak on Friday or Saturday. It doesn't matter what day it is. You're speaking. And so to really have those people, show up and be like, okay, I really want to, I can do these things. And, okay, so I'm not getting picked about my particular first topic, but I'm still talking about jQuery, or I'm still talking about, something that was kind of related, right? And we had a lot of people come back the next year actually saying, I want to speak on Friday, or I want to do particular topic on Friday. I want to do the beginners guys, or I want to do this. The first time I did a volunteer gig for WordCamp Phoenix, I actually spoke for 8 hours to a room of beginners because there was no one else to talk to these people. And so I basically said, okay, I'll do it all 8 hours. Let's just do it. It was awesome.
Wow. I actually, I kind of skipped. The first year I was involved with WordCamp, I was a volunteer because it was like an opportunity for me to give back to the basically meetup community that I had gotten involved with. And then everyone kind of went, hey, you'd make a good lead organizer. You should do it. You should totally do it. And I went, okay. And so I actually haven't spoken at a WordCamp yet.
Really?
And I'm curious if you're going to next year.
Okay, so wait a second.
I am too. I'm very curious about that.
So you can apply to WordCamp LA until July 15th.
Well, thanks. I think I filled my quota for the year, but
I'm just saying.
I'll consider it.
I just put it out there.
When you're a lead org, you don't have any time to speak. You're like, I literally was in the back room, like trying to pass out for 15 minutes because I was just like,
yeah.
God.
But what Bridget's saying is that the camp would be over with, and then he could go and try to speak over in LA.
It's September,
and you could totally be like, hey.
I can just tell you that
what it takes to be an organizer at a WordCamp. I think that's a great talk.
That would be great.
It is. It would be a great talk.
I'm submitting it now. Here I go.
I'm sorry, but I am doing the social media for WordCamp LA, so I gotta like put it out
there. You go.
And the deadline is right after our camp, so.
Yeah.
I think it's also good to, I mean, if you really, really want to speak at a WordCamp, go be a part of the organizing committee. There's no better way to pitch your topic to the orgs than to be in the actual meeting room where we're all picking the topics.
We don't actually
saying that I got picked out, but
we don't actually let our organizers talk. They're not allowed to be on the talking part of it. They will be at the help desk.
Yeah.
And places like that, but we do a no presenting if you're
I
organizer.
actually had to shoe in once because the guy that was doing the SEO topic totally bailed on us. I was like, okay, I didn't put my hat in the ring, but guess fate just decided I was going to have to do that.
I have a couple of backup speakers who were gracious enough to be willing to be in the wings for me.
How often does that
backup
happen?
Speakers are definitely needed. A lot.
Depends on where, and it depends on how far out you're talking about. So
I
love these question and answer shows where every answer is it depends.
It's WordPress, right?
Come on.
I saw a talk where the person asked the person that he was filling in for to have his slide deck. He's like, you just give me your deck and I'll do the talk.
What?
So he goes like this, right? He gets the clicker and he clicks it up and he looks up there and he goes, yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
That would be such a great
presentation.
Like you literally put this up here, really? And then he went to the next one. And he's like, okay, all right, we could totally talk about this one. And then he spent 15 minutes talking about that one slide. And then at the end of it, he's like, click, 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 click. How many slides are in here? And he's hitting the button and it's going through like 60 of them. And he finally gets to like a random one. Was that OC? I don't remember if it was or not. But it was hilarious. Oh no, it was in San Diego. It was like 3 or 4 years ago or something. But it was hilarious because he was flying through this thing and he finally gets to one. He's like, okay, we can totally talk about this one. Like he was like a participant because he never even looked at it. He goes, I didn't want to look at the slides. I just wanted to just go through and look at them all, while I was talking with you about them and see what's what. I'm not recommending that, but if you are like a really good comedic type, you could probably pull that one off.
I think a couple of years ago, Alex Vasquez was a sub at Orange County. That talk changed my life.
Aw. It's Alex.
It's just, sometimes something gets in your head and you just go, this is serendipity, because it wasn't even the talk it was supposed to be.
And as an organizer, that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping like every talk hits someone the right way and gives them that little piece that pushes them to the next level. Mm-hmm. Hey, we have a question from Kevin Hoffman. Consider a topic like responsive images in WordPress. I feel like you need to establish a basic understanding of responsive images before getting into how WordPress uses them. Or do you just skip straight to the WordPress stuff? Question.
Well, okay, so let me just say, because I just watched this talk by Morten
I got a better answer.
Hendrickson at WordCamp Europe about empathy in design. And it was taking empathy to the next level. First of all, you have to have empathy before you care about accessibility. But then you also can't just assume your perspective on somebody else. Like you're never going to know what it's like to be blind because you can see. That was kind of the premise. And so it was about like empathy 2.0. And then once you got that mindset, now here's the accessibility talk I was going to give.
Yeah, then you blow it out.
I cried listening to that talk. It's on YouTube. It was amazing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It should move you. Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. I completely agree with that. And I would say pull your audience. Like when you show up at the talk and you're not sure like what the actual, level of the actual people that you're talking to is, just say, hey guys, do you guys know a little bit about responsive? Can I skip, these 4 slides or 5 slides to really give you, more juicy stuff on the back end? If they're advanced users or advanced designers, and they know about responsiveness already, give them the benefit of the doubt, but just ask them and do a show of hands and go from there.
Well, that and responsive design in general, even if you just went and talked about responsive design for a minute and just said, hey, look, pull out your phone and try to go to this website, see how it doesn't get smaller and it doesn't actually start stacking or anything. So that's when you don't have responsive design. Okay, so see how all those images didn't shrink or grow? Okay, that is not responsive design. And then you're like, okay, fine, we already went through all of that, so boom, let's go. But I totally agree with you.
I like that.
Ask the room and just be like, hey, do I need to explain to you that this is the left mouse button and that's the right mouse button? And if you click on one of them, something happens? Okay, we don't have to talk about any of that? Cool, let's go on from there.
I mean, that's a valid way to deal with it. I would also say, like, you could put in 3 slides that are really funny that describe responsive and cover it, in a lightning
passion.
Lightning passion.
Passion. Lightning passion.
My new scent.
Ooh.
I like object lessons. That's my teacher showing.
Put your teacher away.
I'm sorry.
Ooh.
That's what my student loan was for. It's a reminder every month that I went to college to do something I'm not doing.
But you're so good at it, Bridge.
Oh, parents, they're the worst. So, but anyway, I think that is a good idea. I like object lessons, and also that helps people remember what you're saying. I mean, here's the thing. I assumed everything was responsive, and then I go to work for a company who will remain nameless, and I have to go to iframely.com or something to put in YouTube videos because the themes we made for our own websites, I don't know who it might be, do not make the OMPN responsive. So I'm like, wait, I thought all of these were responsive, like it's WordPress, but it's not. And even in the Q&A that Matt Mullenweg was on at WordCamp Europe, he's like, oh, every theme should be responsive. It should be a requirement. WordPress.tv isn't even responsive. So I mean, it's one thing to assume everybody understands this, but it's not necessarily our current reality.
It's what we'd like it to be.
Baby steps.
Good. That's why it's still a good subject.
Oh my gosh, it isn't responsive, folks. It's not.
Still?
Why not?
Don't
Why
cry.
is
I
this?
think that's why I'm going to YouTube, but you would have to check with.
Why is this not responsive?
Because
Come
like,
on.
sometimes when I'm at night, I just want to hear a WordCamp talk on my phone. Because I'm in my, immersion program. I'm in my immersion program, right? I'm trying to learn all things WordPress as fast as possible. Oh, that would be a good talk.
Immersion programs?
Yeah, my WordPress immersion program.
Step one, start a podcast.
Get asked to be on a podcast.
Become best friends with Jason Tucker.
Oh, I love it, dude.
That's awesome.
Oh my
Is
God.
that
The mayor.
Mayor McCheese.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I need that. Yeah, Jamal and I are like having a competition on Swarm.
I saw that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I saw Mayor,
You got to keep things lively. You got to have fun. It's part of being in the community. Like, okay, so this is what I realized. One of my first things I realized when I was in the WordPress community. You got to have an inside joke. If you're not part of an inside joke, you're not really in. That's like the initiation.
Make your own inside joke.
Yeah, you got to be part of one, or you got to have a nickname, or you got to have a website called "You Have Really Nice Hair" or "Say Hi to Roy" or something like that. Oh man!
Blame Mama.
I'm just saying.
Oh goodness.
Oh yeah, Adam's on too. We should ask him questions about.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna pop out and let Adam take my
Thanks
spot.
for coming, Dave.
Oh,
Let's see
it's
you
so
Saturday.
fun.
I was gonna say, anyone who's going to WordCamp Orange County, I hope to see you. I mean, I will see you, but I hope you see me.
I'm thinking about it. If it
Yeah, you
works
better be
out.
there. Your slides better be done. I haven't seen them yet.
They are done. I saw them. They're good.
All right, take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Hop on, Adam Silver. We're talking about what organizers are looking for. He's organizing LA. What organizers are looking for in WordCamp talks, or how to give your first WordCamp talk, or what is the best way to prep your slides, or what is that one talk that you've been waiting to hear that nobody's given? Maybe you should give it.
That was the other tip that I wanted to add is don't forget your dongle, because you definitely want to bring your dongles, like your little, widgets and attachments to put to, your AV equipment together so that you have, we call them dongles.
Okay.
Now
I
I'm
don't know.
curious.
I didn't get that far in my immersion program.
But
Put your dongle away.
Your
Put your dongle away.
adapters.
we always have screen adapters like running around, as far as AV guys are concerned, but you definitely want to bring your own, and you definitely want to make sure that it works so that your
I
presentation
totally
shows up
agree.
right.
Yeah, and not only that, but have one available so when you're sitting there and somebody else is like, "Oh no, I don't have the thing. Where's the?" Because not everyone knows what, just like Bridget, she was like, it's called a dongle. I thought it was called a wig or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's like, but they look at it and they're like, where's the thing? Why isn't there a thing up here?
I happened to us in LA last year. Doug was like, Greg Douglas is like, tweet this out. I need this right now. I will pay you for it.
Those things are like, that's like expensive.
Sure, dude.
Bring extra dongles so you can share, and then bring an extension cord with extra plugs. People love you after that. Yep.
I'm ready. Speaking of dongles.
Oh, that's cool.
Holders.
It's called a gridit.
A gridit. Oh.
I need all of those. I need that one. Oh, look at that one. That one looks like it's from a printer.
And you also never know if you need a stir stick from Starbucks.
Oh, yeah, that's important. That's a really important.
Was that a SCSI Terminator?
Doesn't it look like from a printer with like 14?
It looked like you had a SCSI Terminator going on in there.
The ones with the pins from 1980?
No.
Yeah, was that a serial port adapter?
Yeah,
that thing hooked
I do have a Firewire 800 to 400 adapter.
It has little things. It has screws on it. I saw that.
It's DVI. So, hello, everybody.
What's happening?
Hello.
What were you guys looking for? What are your speaker submissions are still open for LA? What are you guys looking for? Is there anything you can share with the studio audience?
Mostly, if you can do it in Latin, you're a shoo-in. Just the breadth of stuff. I mean, you know, we have. I'm working on something special for the advanced level of stuff because I think WordCamps kind of always tend to accommodate and cater to the beginners.
Hmm.
So the advanced developers kind of get shortchanged. So I'm working on something for that specifically. That's all I can say on that at the moment. But other than that, we're open. To see what we get. We have, and I mean, I'm curious. I haven't checked today what we're at for numbers. I was a little concerned, and we were a couple weeks behind because we had some, life. Everyone's a volunteer, and some of the co-organizers of mine, got busy. So stuff, the budget got delayed by about a month. So it kind of so now we're 8 weeks out. It's gonna happen. It's luckily with the same venue, so those kind of things are easier.
Yeah.
I'm actually one of my organizers right now. It's currently at MIA, so my volunteer wrangler. So it's going to come back to us, and that form will go out, I think, tomorrow now, because, I mean, it's like, that's supposed to be done a week ago. It is what it is. We're all volunteers.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, actually, while we're talking real quick, to see what's my number. I'm just curious how many I have. I won't say it out loud. I just want to know, and I'll go, oh, interesting. Speaker responses. Let's see. How many do we have? We have, wow.
There is 3.
Oh, actually, we picked up another 10. That's cool. Good.
Nice.
That sounds right based on the social media.
So yeah, so we're doing another week. We'll probably. I mean, I don't know how many OC. But in general, I think you get between 75 to 100 submissions for like 32 spots.
Okay.
Total. So
those are hard choices.
Yeah, and it just and the people who submit with cash or debit cards are. No, I'm kidding.
Extra speaker, extra organizer gifts.
Yeah, exactly. So,
how many spots did you guys say that you had? Like 40?
32, I think. I mean, it depends how many tracks you do. We're doing 2 tracks on Saturday and Sunday, an hour each, typical of 40. That's the standard, starting at 9 a.m. or, yeah. But we're doing something else, extra special. We're doing a 3rd track, but it's a preset, secret, invited kind of thing. So
yeah. So as far as the speaker submission, still 2 tracks.
Yeah. We're doing typical beginner stuff on Saturday, and I think we're gonna do business Saturday, and then just off the top of my head, and then some other beginner on Sunday with design. To mix it up again a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Typical, nothing crazy.
How do you want them formatted from the submitters? That was our original question.
Oh, basic. I mean, I pulled our form from the form I used was a form I pulled my friends organizing Ann Arbor, so I just kind of mimicked their form. Also, standard fare. Based on our timeline, I didn't have a lot of time to recreate the wheel.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's no reason to. So.
So is it just a pitch, or do you look for specific things in the pitch?
I'll tell you what I won't. Well, we try to do blind reviews. I mean, we're not. No, I look at them. I know, but if someone says, "Tell me what you want me to talk about," that's not going to fly.
No, I mean, like, do you expect the pitch to say what the top 3 things are they're going to cover? I mean, how in depth is the pitch? Not what the subject is, but how thorough do you want that pitch to be?
Good question. I'm thinking.
That was literally the original question we had. Like, what are people looking for?
I'm just thinking of my experience last year co-organizing LA and what we looked at, because we went through each talk, and the team last year was awesome with Alex and Natalie, Nathan and Greg Douglas, and we had fun one night. We went through every one of them. We were all doing we did a Google Hangout. We read them all out loud. We took turns, and we did them in accents, so it made it a lot of fun.
That would be fun.
And the group did not know how many voices and characters I could possibly do, and it was pretty obnoxiously fun.
Oh,
that
awesome.
said, we weren't looking. I'm just thinking. I don't think we're looking for too detailed. We just want to make sure that you know your subject. It has, in my opinion, personally, I want it to be something of value that someone can take away and go do something.
Yeah, make it
And,
actionable.
Practical.
And actual, because the same thing goes for we're not doing any flash talks in LA. I've seen flash talks, a lot of them at WordCamp, San Francisco, all over. I've done a few. I think if you're going to do a flash talk, 6 to 12 minutes, on those short ones, you have to at least have at least one actionable item at the end of it. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And I hate to be. I don't hate to be critical.
So
that's
a call to action. It's in marketing.
definitely
It's called a call to
takeaway.
action.
Yeah, you got to have a takeaway. You got to have something. So, for example, my talk on Sunday coming up, Markowski, who's still listening, originally said, it's going to be a conversation. Well, I'm still going to do some slides. I'm going to have not that many, but it's an AMA almost. It's but I want to have. So I'm almost thinking, I will have a available download a checklist, because I am a checklist kind of guy for my podcast. I know mine by heart, but here's a checklist. Here's how I do everything every week. I have nowhere to display my slides. Really, David?
Just make adamislive.com/mypodcasttalk.
Well, that's actually fine, David. That saves me about an hour tomorrow. For the win. It's fine. So I'll make my slides. I'll print them out for myself to have. I want to have a little bit of an outline, a couple of things. Yeah. That's all. That's actually fine. No place to touch. Put them. That's brilliant. I'm so happy. It's no idea. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have another beer. But I will have a takeaway for me. Thank you. For me, the takeaway. It's because we're in the same tribe, Markowski.
Angry Orchard, Jason.
What's that?
Is that an Angry Orchard?
It is.
Ah, so good, Sandra.
But I was gonna say, I'm gonna have a takeaway. Is I want people. So here's a downloadable PDF. You can go to this link and grab it or something. I think something like that. Even that little thing, I think will help. Or the list of my resources. What I'll do is everything we talk about. Maybe I'll record it, and then I can go back to have it transcribed, and then put together a reference URL so people can go and get those.
Right.
Notes. That's an idea. That's brilliant.
My friend Heather Steele, her talk at San Diego 2 years ago, she had you fill out note cards with your address. And he said, what is your goal for next year at this time?
Man, that's pretty churchy right there. It's like fill in the blanks kind of stuff.
Well, you and I know that, but everybody else doesn't know that. I thought it was really good because you had to sit there and write it down. You had to write down, I'm going to build a WordPress site. And then you're going to get that a year later, and you're going to be accountable whether or not you did it. I did.
Did you say churchy, Jason?
Yeah,
churchy, yeah.
Churchy.
Okay, go back to San Diego this year, and you know where I spoke, right?
Yeah, in a church.
In the church on Passover, says the Heb.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I think what I started with
Catholicism for a.
Yeah, I started with because Prince had just passed away that week, so I changed my first slide to we are gathered here today to talk about this thing called Dearly Beloved. We are together. It's right. Made it all purple. It was awesome.
It was great.
I think another great tip would be to check out one of those cool services. I know Lead Pages does this. I know MailChimp does this, where they give you like a little, a little basically 6-digit number or whatever. Text your email to and I'll send you the slides or whatever. It's a great way.
Lead Pages that they charge for. It's called part of Lead Digits.
Yeah, Lead Digits.
Yeah.
But MailChimp does it too. I think there's several other, SMS text type places that do that kind of thing. But it's a great way to collect email addresses from your audience members while you're talking.
Right. And then just for the record, I always do my first slide is always adamislive.com, which will be a preset tweet of where I'm at and kind of thing. So it's
very clever. I was trying to figure out how you did that, and I think I figured it out.
Click the tweet, yeah. So
it's a redirect, right?
It's a redirect, yeah.
Yes! I learned
you fancy pants.
Okay, so here's my other question. I know, I was like, how did you do this? I go, wait, stop it. I was pausing it, and I was watching it change the URLs. I go, oh, I see what he did. That's so cool. Anyway, so I was wondering, what about if you think you have a good idea for a talk, should you search for that talk on WordPress.tv and or alter because of the results?
Well, yeah. So I look for talks, and I've done talks a couple of things have happened. So I did a talk. I think you were there when we did the talk up in San Jose, right? For that conference, the
WordPress Day, non-profit technology conference.
The NT and whatever. And the organizers, the organizers started the talk, and they were kind of like talking about my talk, and not my talk. They were talking,
talk.
Almost.
Pretty close.
They did it, yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? The difference is mine was going to be longer, and it's my voice, my take on it, and it's just different. So if you see another talk out there on WordPress.tv or something,
don't get
it's your voice, it's your experience. I mean, heck, my podcast, Jason, we all have overlap.
Adam, I completely agree with you. I think that it's definitely something that people pick up on different audiences, different people's experiences. Somebody might really jive with my particular personality. I might be saying the exact same thing you might be saying in another presentation, but they just get it the way I talk about it or that you talk about it.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. That's why I'm 123 weeks in on my podcast, and Dustin, one of my best friends, he's twice as many. We have overlap, and sometimes he'll do a topic on his weekly show, and it's on my list of things to do. I just wait like another month. I'll bring it back up, I'll just push it out further. Or I've done the same thing to him. He's like, oh, it happens. It happens. So yeah, you can look at WordPress.tv. Total side note, I have a WordCamp TV talk that is keeps ranking like number 2, period, because only Matt Malone gets ranked higher. Just saying.
What's the topic?
It's the WP battles. It's under the battles.
Oh yeah, the rap battles. Because my boss was like, "Oh, I love that Adam Silver is number 2. He's wearing a giant gift shirt."
That's right. Same one.
I think the most interesting talk that I've ever heard was gosh, I can't even think of his name right now, which is so sad because I love him. But it was a Sunday talk actually about how he was using WordPress on local servers to handle like remote, basically nonprofit organization type stuff only on local, area networks, things like that, like completely original uses of WordPress that were still, very helpful for the particular use, but completely original and completely unique.
Yeah. So and based on that, Kyle, Maurer, and myself, we've been doing things outside of the norm. So we started with the rap battle. We did that in Ann Arbor last year. We just did we did rap battle. We did not rap. It's called WP battles. The first one was a rap battle.
Plugins versus themes or something.
Yeah. So we just did the second WP battle in Northeast Ohio last month, and it was a political debate style. And that video is being edited right now. I'm in the process of editing that.
Wow.
We had a 4-camera shoot.
No way.
We did. It's crazy, dude.
Stop.
So it'll be.
It's you're being serious.
Oh, I'm serious. It's a debate. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can tell you now because it's done. So it wasn't like a secret. But it was it was a debate between full-time employment and being a freelancer.
Wow.
That's a good debate.
That is a good debate.
And we took the opposites of what we currently do. Like I'm employed and he runs an agency, like he does the freelance side. So we took the opposite because the grass always looks greener.
Right.
We had a moderator, we had a time thing. We showed up in suits. It was pretty, you'll see it. It's pretty funny.
Okay, I cannot wait to see that. I knew I had another question, but I got distracted by the rap battle.
And just so you know, we're working on Ann Arbor this year. We're trying to we have a huge Google Doc of some good ideas and some really not good ideas. But again, it's back to your point about doing something outside of the norm or doing something that kind of stands out, but it was also educational and entertaining.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking Flight of the Conchords. No. For those who know that is.
Yeah.
So. Anyway.
Maybe I'll do WordPress burlesque or something.
Wow, that's a code of conduct problem.
Yeah, I think that would be a code of conduct problem. But however, you could strip back your functionality with plugins. Go minimalist. Okay, so enough with that brainstorming. So how about is there a percentage you try to get of new speakers? That was my question.
For me?
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's like some make.wordpress.org mandate or something. I don't know.
Basic.
Eventually.
basic mandate, or not mandate, I think is the key. That more of a guideline is local versus non-local.
Okay.
For one, but that said, sometimes it's hard. In some cities, in some places, it's hard to get. People don't like to be. A lot of people aren't comfortable being a public speaker. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm fortunate that I have no problem doing it.
Yeah.
Obviously, so and I'm also fortunate that I can fund my trips.
Right.
You know, I can't go to all of them. I would love to go to, but like I just got asked about Boston today. It's in 2 weeks. It's like $750 round trip. I'm not going unless somebody wants you know, friends of mine like, in a hosting company, they're going unless they want to sponsor me or pay for my flight.
Right.
You know, but I'm not speaking because it's too late. But if I could go do it, or I could always. I'm also called upon often enough to be like a backup speaker. That's what happened in Denver last year.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was going anyways because I wanted to go back and visit Denver. I used to live there, and they had someone drop out. And since I was coming, they go, "Can you speak?" I'm like, "Of course." So, yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, in the church world, they always tell pastors you should have a pocket sermon.
Right.
Is there some kind of version of that with WordPress speakers? And
so in LA last year, we had a couple backup speakers. Absolutely. You know, and we usually ask people who didn't submit because otherwise it's just weird. So, you know, it's people, the organizer of the team we know. Like, for example, I would say, "Hey, Jason, you want to be a backup speaker in case something drops out, but I don't want to go back to a speaker who submitted and we didn't pick the first time and say, hey, you were the B list." That just seems awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a matter of we reach out to people in the community who we know who will be there, who could speak on something for 35, 40 minutes.
Do you evaluate whether or not they have speeches on WordPress whatever, or on their own YouTube, or spoken at your meetups? Are those factors?
Yes, of course. We'd like to see, if you're brand new, great. You know, just you got to start somewhere. You know,
Throw up your camera, put a YouTube channel together. You know, put you know, some 5-minute blips about whatever you want to talk about together. You know, just get yourself out there because you have to eventually.
I think, you know, it's one thing. So I know there was someone who spoke at LA last year who hadn't spoken before, but I knew who he was. I won't say any names. It was a he. I knew who he was. I knew he was smart and knew his topic, and so he spoke. You know, because you know he's put time in the community as well. If it's a total brand new person, I think I'd want to see something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and also to make sure that they know the rules of you're not supposed to sell from stage.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. You know,
at some point, Chris Lima had his first time.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think it was about an hour after birth.
Hashtag Chris Lima's first time.
Yes, please do it.
Gosh.
Let's trend it. We'll get up to 6 people that said it on Twitter. Let's do it.
That's just awkward.
Yeah, I think that
His
might
wife's
be
like, what?
code of conduct issue too. So Jacob's saying yes, you should speak at local meetups.
Yeah, that's a great way to start, I think.
Definitely helpful.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I remember my first talk for WordCamp, and I was, you know, I say I was nervous. I was stressed to no end that week, and not because of the people potentially coming to see me speak, because of all the other speakers, like my peers, like, you know, Jason Tucker and Alex, Natalie, the other people. Like all of a sudden, I'm a WordCamp speaker, and mind you, I have a degree in theater performance.
Yeah.
But it was to be with that level, like I leveled up. I'm like, oh, and that's what I was really most nervous about. And then, and would people show up? Of course.
Do you think? What do you say to the people that think that every talk should totally blow everybody's minds? Is that a realistic expectation?
No, I think
Slightly biased question, but
yeah, I think it's tough because every audience is different, every camp is different. Case in point, I went to 2 camps out of the 10 last year. Speaker did same talk twice for the most part. One was awesome and one wasn't. But same speaker, same talk, 2 camps.
so they just had an off day.
Off day. Same thing. And I saw somebody else speak year 1 at LA, you know, this a couple years ago at LA, and then a year later. And I was an attendee. I didn't like his talk the first year. I thought it was just corny and cheesy and whatever. I'm like, ugh. Came back a year, and so I'm already biased. I'm like, okay, I'm just watching the talk, and he killed. It was awesome. Different talk, but way better.
Yeah.
So it's everything, you know. It's the audience, it's the person, it's the topic, it's everything about it is a variable.
So, I mean, from my background as a teacher, I believe in reinforced learning with all of my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sometimes we forget that hearing the same thing again
Mm-hmm.
and having those feelings validated is tremendously encouraging. You know, just to know that you're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Sometimes I kind of brainstorm my blog topics that way. I'll be going, yeah, I was kind of thinking about, and then somebody will jump in and go, oh yeah, I was totally thinking about that. I'm like, yes, well, because sometimes you don't know. Like I work at home by myself.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, I don't know if there's some of that going on with speaking. Like, do you care that things are, you want to make sure certain things that really need to be covered are covered?
Depends on what kind of camp you're putting together. I mean, some people are like really particular about, like we were for Fridays, you know, we wanted, you know, CSS, JavaScript, we wanted these particular topics to be covered. And then on Saturday, you could talk about whatever you wanted. So it just depends on the format and the way the camps run. So one last tip, and then I will pop off so somebody else can pop on maybe. But I wanted to say, go through your blogs and your Google Analytics and say, okay, what was my most, you know, interesting blog in the last year that people really resonated with or really enjoyed, and put a presentation together about that. It's different format. You can totally record it. You could throw it up on, you know, WordPress or
repurposing a blog post. Smart.
Yeah,
what was
no,
your
totally.
name again?
I mean, based on that comment, you know, I'll tell you, I only blog typically once or twice a year. I do a blog recap of like WordCamp LA because I can't record those because it's weird to say.
Too emotional for you, huh?
It is. It's plain and simple. So I do. I mean, I try to record it, so I do write it out, and I just do it. It's like my WordCamp LAX manifesto. It's one of my most popular posts.
Yeah.
And I did a second one for I think LA last year. You know, and I remember I wrote the post and I sent it to Alex Vasquez first. I'm like, hey, should I publish this? Because I was like even nervous, like how I wrote about everything about the community, how it kind of for me was the crescendo, that camp, like this 2 years ago. And based on that, so I did that for 2 years, whatever. I came up with an idea to talk. I wanted to do a talk called Truth, Trust, and Technology and how they all overlap about the community. And I pitched it to like 3 or 4 camps, no takers for like a year and a half. And then I add the subtext, the subline. I say, truth, trust, technology, why WordPress has the best community. And 2 camps picked it up immediately. Denver was my backup, and then I did it in Columbus. Denver, I was so nervous because it was a new talk. It wasn't a demo for me. It wasn't talking about beginner stuff like I typically do. And I was, you know, and luckily the recording didn't, it never got put up. I'm like, okay, good. It's on WordCamp.tv.
It is.
For Columbus, and it was one of my most favorite talks. I mean, it's done well. I mean, it's a good talk. So
that reminds me, we didn't ask about that. So does the title of your talk influence selection?
I think it can, for sure. Yeah,
I think so. I think it's also a little bit of a SEO type game as well when it comes to people wanting to show up to your talk. So if you have, you know, if you didn't pick the right words, people are going to look at it and go like, wow, I really don't want to hear about whatever it is. Even though that's not the target, but that one word is in there. Like the one word that Adam put in there, community. That's all I have to say. He could just put community, and that would have been the name of the talk. And he could have said anything, and they would have been like, oh, he needs to be talking about community. We love community. Community is the best thing ever. And then they just would have jumped all over it.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, so I remember I had the basic concept for this talk probably 2 years before I ever did it. Finally, it gets accepted. I had to go write it. You know, I had to go. I had a framework. I had a rough sketch of what I wanted to be. I knew, but then but it was good. But the time that it took me to come up with the idea to the time I delivered it was necessary. That was necessary experience for sure. You know.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you're right. Though it's the keywords. I mean, here's on the flip side of that. If someone has a talk that they're doing and it has the keywords, people come, and then the talk is nothing about that. Like all of a sudden, they are 180 degrees different. That room gets really hostile. And I've been in rooms like that.
Hostile?
Yeah, me too. And it's usually somebody trying to pitch something. So they're like, oh, we're going to talk about SEO. And then the whole time they're like, oh, we make this SEO engine and it's the best thing ever. And you put words in it and it spits out other words. And it's like we rediscovered the thesaurus. Check it out. It's the greatest thing ever. And you're just like,
talks for WordPress are not like Reddit posts. So if you are naming your talk 8 things, 7 things, 20 things, any kind of number of things, those don't work on most of the organizers. So try to have something short and sweet and funny. Those are my things that I look for.
Yeah. And you can't, and some people always ask me, how are you funny? I mean, how do I make this a funny presentation? I'm like,
Adam, how are you
funny?
Self-deprecating humor.
Well, you might as well beat him to the punch, right?
Pretty much, yeah. The other thing is this. I remember I saw a talk at a camp. Oh, I know where it was. I don't want to say what city. This was 2 years ago. And this talk was about outsourcing or scaling your business. And I want to be careful how I word this. The person speaking didn't realize the audience, and so it's really the organizer's fault because they didn't vet it properly. Meaning, you can't go to a room of designers and say, "I hire everyone in the Philippines."
Oh yeah, that would be.
That didn't go over well, right?
Or
like
Fiverr.
So you guys in this room, you're out of work.
You're out of work.
Right. This is not how to grow your business. This is how to grow my business. You know. So.
Yeah, my next talk's going to be about how Squarespace is so much better than all the other things that you're building. That's going to be the talk. It's going to be great.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Here's one for you. So I saw a site today. Oh, I know. I know it's a company that rebranded. Hope they're not watching. No. And I looked at the code. It's Wix.
They advertise on WP Watercooler.
Dude, Wix is my biggest sponsor, dude.
For the pre-roll. Sometimes I just watch it just in case they give you a couple pennies.
Dude, they drop me $20 every single month.
Nice. You're so good. Yeah.
Hey Jason, what was the it's in Facebook. What was it yesterday we were talking about that Margalski and I should buy the domain? A total site.
Was it He Brewery?
Oh no, it was
Chutzpah WP.
Yeah, you're 50% Jewish right now.
What, I mean the show? Yes.
Yeah.
And look, David, I don't know about you, but you're on my screen. We're both on the bottom, so the bottom half is 50% Jewish. Oi!
I'm 25% doing the gender, so
There you go.
I kind of teased my guys because they go, "We're all going to speak at WordCamp." I go, "I don't think I belong in this meeting." He goes, "No, we're all speaking. We're all going to apply it, U.S."
Are you guys looking at the
quota?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
All right, folks, let's wrap up the show, then we'll discuss that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Folks, make sure you go over to our website at wpwatercooler.com/WPblab. Go over there, check it out. It's awesome. It's exciting. It's marvelous. And if you do show up to the WP meetups and all of the WordCamps and all the stuff that's going on out there, make sure you take a look at the various podcasters that you find out there and hang out with them, talk with them, discuss with them, and figure out what is it that they're doing and how can you help them out. Is it feedback? Is it discussing different topics with them? Is it pitching something to them? Adam's always looking for ideas, so feel free to give him some ideas. Just joking. And lastly, we're going to be doing a really cool thing at this particular WordCamp. We're going to be doing something called the Hallway Track. Follow Hallway Track on Twitter. We're going to be doing some hallway interviews and discussing and talking and doing all sorts of fun stuff with that. So go check out Hallway Track on the Twitters. Folks, see you later. You have a good rest of your time. See you later. Bye-bye.
I think